21st century. Doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen do it. Screams from the haters. Got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. The system broken, the school's closed, the prison's open. We ain't got nothing to lose, motherfucker, we rollin'. Motherfucker, we rollin'. With some light-skinned girls and some jelly rollin'. And this white man world, we the ones chosen. So good night, cool world, I see you in the morning. I see you in the morning. This is way too much, I need a moment. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. Till then, fuck that, the world's ours. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. Till then, fuck that, the world's ours. Is Napoleon, my furs is Mongolian, my ice.
What up, Countrywide Eagles Podcast, man? Salute, bro. Deshaun Jackson.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? The boys are back in town. We have missed you. Multiple weeks off with a lot of things going on. As you can see, we're missing one per usual because he never wants to tune in and he never wants to spend time with us anymore. I am the founder of the Countrywide Eagles Tailgate Mafia. My name is Dennis. To my right.
Hello, I am Logan. Glad to be back finally.
Multiple weeks off. Hope everybody's doing well. Number of things to talk about. Lots of things to talk about. Post your comments, your reactions. Make sure you sub to us on YouTube, Countrywide Eagles Podcast, so that way we can get the viewers up over there as well. First one, touch base. Tell everybody thank you for everyone that has reached out about my grandmom unfortunately passing last week after losing her battle with cancer. It means a lot that everybody reached out. You guys don't understand. As you've seen that I've been sharing on the group page on Facebook that we have a GoFundMe going. If you can donate, it's great. A lot of people have. I know Jasmine's done it twice. Sean's done it. Just really appreciate everybody's support and just being there for me to let me just vent and feel the love. This is why we're the best fan base in the NFL, because when something happens, we all find a way to stick together. Shout out to the 302 Birds podcast over there with Dalton and the guys for, letting me just vent a few days and then just being there. And Logan, thank you for being, you're young, but the way that you've been there for me as a friend, I want you to know I appreciate everything you and your mom have done.
Welcome. We're glad to be able to try helping you in your time of, not being good.
Yeah, I mean, we had a funeral yesterday. It was great. A lot of people. She touched a lot of lives. Mom was cremated. She actually got, I guess, done last night or this morning, and she's home with us. I actually have some of her with me in this nice necklace. I love horses because I work with horses, so she's always with me now. It's definitely not the same without my mama. I miss her, but I'll get through it, and I just appreciate everybody being there, and we'll go from there. Logan, I guess the first question I want to ask you, and we'll kind of get right down to the nitty gritty of it, man. Season definitely didn't end the way we hoped. What's your take on the end of the season? How, I know it was disappointing for a lot of us, but what were you thinking when everything happened?
And in week 18, that was embarrassing. Marcus Mariota outplayed Jalen Hurst, and we entered the playoffs. I expected us to lose, and we got embarrassed. But, after the collapse happened, I kind of just knew that it wasn't likely going to be our year, and I was prepared for what ended up happening. So it was less of like, I can't believe this happened. Like, already, gone through it's likely over. Like, our new coaching staff is going to be a massive improvement over, Brian Johnson and Sean Desai, Matt Patricia. Hopefully, Kellen Moore, actually wants the ball, a thing that he's not really known for.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a strong hope. That's all we can do is hope at this point. Many things are up in the air for our Eagles right now, losing DeAndre Swift and they're replacing a lot of players, people leaving. My take on how the season ended, I kind of once we went into through that losing 6 out of our last 7, it was kind of like we knew the writing was on the wall that something was wrong internally, and come to find out it was a lot. I mean, Desai had lost the defense, like I had said early in the season. Remember what I told you, Logan? Like, something's wrong here. Like, remember, I told you after the 49ers lost, like, he lost the locker room. The defense gave up on him, and they were just free balling shit at that point. And you can't win football games when you play like that. It just doesn't
Putting
happen.
putting Matt Patricia into that situation was probably the worst possible time to switch out defensive coordinator. If he was
I mean,
brought in,
they needed a change because like they weren't gonna fire on all cylinders with Desai.
if
So I get why they did it, but it was a bad reach. It should have just been, just clean house and be done.
if Patricia was brought in like earlier, it maybe could have worked better. But bringing him in while it was already like a downfall in the locker room was a massive mistake and led to his failure.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing you could do at that point. I mean, it was just kind of on the writing was on the wall. Um, as far as Brian Johnson is as was I said he was. He's a fraud. He's a clown, and he's nothing more than a cover athlete for NCAA college football. He
Who
sucks.
ended up hiring him? Was it the
I don't
Commanders?
know where he went. I really don't care. I think it's funny that he just doesn't have a job. Um, but you notice like Howie Roseman, they told him like they told Sirianni like you fire your staff or you're gone. And I think it was a lot of, if you don't get your shit straight, you're gone too. And I think they were really watching him, and I think they really cracked the whip and said, "Hey, look, like if this, and this ain't done, you're not going to be here." And I think a lot of it came true. But like a lot of people were saying, like the whole thing with Big Dom being kicked off the sideline, the fact that your head coach needs a babysitter to make sure you remain calm is ridiculous. Like who in their right mind would think that a head coach needs a babysitter to make sure you can stay in check? Like that's bad. And honestly, I don't know if I want a head coach to where I have to worry about that. That's just me being real. Like, why should we have to have a head coach that can't, you know, act right or have the players respect? Like, everybody wanted to blame AJ Brown like it was his fault, and it wasn't. Like, we're
We
sitting
do
there
also
blaming,
so gotta
huh?
remember that it came out of the Philadelphia media, which is known for hating the Eagles and just making stuff up constantly. So like, you had to take that report with a grain of salt
I
about
mean, you had
Sirianni.
players like wanting to turn on to fucking fans. Like, that don't fly, man. Like, that wasn't cool. And it's like, I love AJ. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm looking at all this money we're spending in free agency. Like, dude, you better find a way to spend the money to, um, to do what you got to do and get Devontae signed and be ready because he's gonna get a contract from somebody.
They,
Um,
if they're not going to sign him, they need to accept his fifth-year option. And it would be stupid not to sign him this year because it's going to get a lot more expensive next year.
yeah, it's just gonna be worse because if he puts up $1,000 numbers again, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But that's besides the point. We look at the signings. This stream's not going to be too long, y'all. As the first one back, we're just kind of trying to touch base, get back into it. We'll probably do these maybe once every 2 weeks or something, just to touch base on everything. Um, I have a busy workload coming up with some stuff going on, and I'll be happy to inform more people. But if you saw the post inside of the page, you'll understand. Um, I'm gonna list off all of the signings that we have done so far, even the extensions. And Logan, I guess if you want to just give a reaction to each one, like I'll give a nice delay afterwards, so you can give a reaction, and you can tell me what you think. So, offensive lineman from the Falcons, they signed Hennessy.
I think that he'll likely be a backup. He played center. We don't need center. We got Cam Jurgens. So he'll probably be a good backup in case one of our interior O linemen gets injured. I think it's a pretty average signing. He could also potentially be used as a trade signing.
Hmm. Uh, BG coming back for year 15.
I think that's definitely a good signing. I think that coming back for a farewell tour is good. I wish that Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelsey did that, obviously, but they chose their health, which I respect. And like, I think if they think it's more important for their health to retire, then that's what they need to do, and that is what they did, unfortunately.
Chris Bond from the New Orleans Saints linebacker. I am extremely excited about that because that kid is talented.
I haven't seen that much on him, so I don't really have much thoughts, but I think that just any linebacker help will be good.
Anything's better than Zach Cunningham and Nicholas Morrow. Um, Jake the Make Elliott gets a contract extension, 4 more years of Jake the Make.
Tied highest paid kicker now with Justin Tucker, very well deserved. He's an amazing kicker, one of the best in the league currently, and he definitely has shown that he deserves it.
Somebody who's probably past his prime, but still shows that he can be a threat when he's in the open field. Devontae Parker from the New England Patriots, former Miami Dolphin. He's only had 1,000-yard season and multiple touchdown seasons. Kind of excited about that, but I honestly would have liked to seen Julio Jones before him.
From what I've seen, he is known like he can create separation. He drops a lot. Like I think that he could be wide receiver four if we don't draft somebody, but if we do, he's likely going to be cut or practice squad.
Let's see. Bryce Huff, super excited. Does make me a little concerned as far as Josh Sweat and Reddick getting an extension. They need to find a way to get Reddick extended, even if it's only a 2-year deal. Strongly feel like Reddick deserves the deal. Give him his $25 million that he deserves, and stretch it out through bonuses, and make sure that he's happy. Keep him there and let him and Bryce Huff destroy the edge with Nolan Smith, and let him learn behind two of the best, because them two can't play the whole game.
Bryce Huff was an undrafted free agent in 2020, and he's turned out to be pretty elite. And I think it's a great signing. He got paid pretty well for being somebody who was just an undrafted free agent only 4 years ago. I think he's going to be great, and this does likely mean that it's what's time to go, unfortunately. But as sad as it is, you got to do what you got to do.
Mr. Don't tamper with my contract. I'm leaving the Big Apple. Tiki Barber, shove it up your blowhole. Saquon Barkley is a running back for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles have not had a bruiser back, technically, if you want to get technical, since what's his face? LeGarrette Blount. This is what Philadelphia's needed. Damn you, Jason Kelsey. Why'd you retire? You bastard.
So,
Your feeling?
obviously, with Saquon, like, people talk about how he gets injured a lot, but if you look at it, he's only missed, I think, 10 games in the last few seasons. And, like, well, yeah, you can say he gets injured a lot. Like, most of his injuries have come from behind the line of scrimmage because of how awful the Giants' O-line is. But, like, the same thing happened with DeAndre Swift. And it was like he gets injured while he's going to be injured and out for the year by week 6. Terrible trade for the Eagles. But obviously, he played the entire season once he had a good O-line. And I think Saquon's going to play the entire season. Second highest paid running back in the league now. And I think
this man now gets to run behind Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata, Cam Jurgens, and Lane Johnson. And I guess Hennessy would probably take over at the other spot. But again, I mean, you're running behind the top two offense, or top two offensive line in the league. I think you're going to see crazy numbers from Saquon. I would not put it past that guy if he rushes for 1,500 yards. If they use him correctly.
Rushing running back next year, depending on how Coach McCaffrey does, but Coach McCaffrey is likely going to be the best running back next year.
But the biggest thing, and I gotta hit the sound effects for this because the man is back. I think he stole the jersey number right off Richard Penny or whatever Penny's name is. We're gonna hit that, and then we're gonna celebrate. CJ Gardner Johnson's back in Philly, and I love it. Let me just tell you, CJ Gardner Johnson, I apologize for any negative talk I said about you, sir. I accept your apology. God bless you. Welcome back to Philadelphia. Mr. Six Picks in the season. Time to go do it again, buddy. Let's go get a ring. He said in a tweet, Logan, Detroit fans can be mad, but you're mad because I went and got money and I wanted a ring. Two things that Detroit couldn't provide. I just was like, oh, buddy. Oh, man. Great things for the Philadelphia Eagles over the last few days, and free agency still going with a lot of good people out there and the draft coming up. Logan, what's your thought on CJ Gardner Johnson returning to the Philadelphia Eagles?
Obviously, amazing pickup, very massive upgrade over Kevin Byard, and he's said some bad stuff to us in the past, but he's going to make up for it. I think he apologized, and at the end of the day, it's just business, and you gotta do what you gotta do. And if he's gonna be with us long term, I'm glad to see it, and I hope he does. He's a great safety, and I'm glad he's back.
And I think that's about all we've got for tonight, just because we're just trying to get back into this. We don't want to go too long and try and drag things out. Logan, so good to see you. I missed you, buddy. Thank you for being there for me through this tough time that I'm dealing with. Everybody in the group, thank you for everything you guys have done to be there for me through this. Logan, anything you want to tell everybody?
Go Birds.
That a boy. All right, you guys know how we close it. Here we go.